What's up, everybody? This is the NerdCave News, and I am one of your hosts, Zach Dykes, joined by there are rumors of a villainous man with a malevolent talent for conjuring mason jars out of thin air and hurling them at unsuspecting victims. No one knows his true identity or motives, only the devastation he leaves in his wake. They say he calls himself Jarlin the Mason.
Okay, thoughts on that? At first, the way it makes it sound like I'm a redneck Harry Potter.
Maybe you are a redneck Harry Potter. Who knows?
Well, I do declare. The other thing is, like, you missed the goal. Like, yes, Jarlin the Mason. I get it. Like, I get the play on words, like, for the exposition, all that kind of stuff. But you missed the golden opportunity to call me Jarlin Manson. Marilyn Manson, Jarlin Manson. So, solid name. However, when it compares to the likes of Marconius Dracon, the Great Wizard, Maxwell Mind Reach Stone, Captain Silverstride, and Kakam McGraw, I don't know if it's not top three. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna have to put that right below Captain Silverstride, though.
Okay. Whoa. That's number what?
4.
Number 4, guys. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Welcome to the show. We hope that you're doing well tonight. This is the NerdCave News. Welcome in, everybody. Derek, how you been doing? You took a siesta. You took a week off. You were just partying it up. You weren't doing anything else.
If only,
anything else.
If partying it up, you mean I was sleeping in my bed.
We missed you last week. Yugi came in, pitch hitting, doing awesome.
Yeah.
But we're glad to have you back, man.
I'm glad to be back. I missed y'all too. So I missed, having talking nerdy, but I know Yugi killed it like always.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate you, man, for stepping in as always, holding it down.
Yeah. So the name came from a random conversation me and Amy were having the other day. We spent like 2 or 3 hours like coming up with random scenarios. The most inconvenient way to like mess with someone. And before that was like someone that could like summon mason jars, but I was like, but they can like put anything in the mason jar at the same time, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, one of my favorite things to inconvenience someone, Derek, would be to some of them I can't say.
Family friendly.
Would be to like anytime they fill up their ice trays to like take out the ice and just put water in them. Like, don't even put water in them. It's just like empty ice trays all the time, so they never have ice for their drinks.
Mine would probably be something along the lines like, it'd be more of like a curse than it would be an inconvenience, but it'd be like every time you go sit on the couch to turn on the TV, the remote's in the kitchen. So
yeah. Another was to every time they went to vacuum, the vacuum would be just chock full of stuff. So they would always have to clean the vacuum out. Guys, let us know, how would you inconvenience someone, in the most minute ways? The more creative, the better. Always have like batteries that are running low in their smoke detector so it beeps.
Oh.
Yeah. We do spend our time wisely here at our residence. Derek, it comes to our new segment that's an old segment, but I love this segment. It's called What You Playing? So, Derek, what you been playing?
I'm still playing that Hogwarts Legacy. I haven't played since Saturday. I tried to play yesterday, it just didn't happen. But I'm level 20. I don't know what the level cap is. I know there's a trophy for hitting level 40, so I'm at least halfway to that. Been doing a lot of side quests in it. I feel over leveled because I'm level 20, and then a lot of the main missions are still like in the 5s and 6s. I think I have like a level 8 mission coming up, but it's just like, yeah, I'm just a little. But thankfully, the enemies do scale with you, so it makes
Mm,
it still challenging. But
yeah.
I'm trying to think story wise where I'm at. I did a lot of story missions actually, so I'm trying to remember where I'm doing next. It's like 2 story missions at once I got to do. I think I did one of them already, but yeah, it's so far the story is actually picking up really nicely. I did go into the forbidden section of the library,
Okay. Okay.
did that stuff, found the secret, if you will. Or
I
I met
think
up
you
with.
could talk about it at this point.
I mean, yes, I'm
I
still trying to
streamed
be respectful since it's
I
a suit.
streamed that part on the channel as well. So
Yeah. And I mean, I met up with the old headmaster in the portrait, that's like, oh, now I got to
mhm.
find the missing pages in order to learn more about what needs to happen for the pensieve and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's getting intriguing, and like the mystery part of it, because now I'm trying to look, because now it's like a lineage of people that can use and and see ancient magic. So it's like, all right, what's the significance of this?
Yeah. Yeah. I I'm further on. I need to go back and finish it, but I don't know when that will be. That's the
Mhm.
biggest thing for me is like I don't know when I'm going to get back to Hogwarts Legacy because I've been playing some Helldivers, Derek. I've been
Oh, I know. Like, man, the hype around that has been crazy.
yeah, and it's been great. I'm glad that everybody's enjoying it. That the game is literally blowing up, if you
Yeah.
will. Um, Derek, I'm gonna say this, and you're gonna be shocked. Okay,
Hmm.
there's a man named Murdoch that
Okay.
got Helldivers.
Hmm. He hasn't played Skull and Bones
He
because of it,
has he has not played Skull and Bones. Doesn't intend to play Skull and Bones because of Helldivers being so good.
bruh. The champion, the sole champion of that game, the one who always like down, like says you're crazy for saying it's going to be a bad game, and he just dropped it like a bad habit at the 11th hour. That's insane.
Whew,
That
man.
that should automatically renege you out of that bet that you have to play Skull and Bones with him.
I played. It was not this Tuesday. I did play with him Tuesday this week, but last Tuesday he hopped on with me and Yuki, and he was like, "Yeah, he's like, you don't have to worry about doing the stream. He's like, I just want to play Helldivers." Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So we're good, man. I'm feeling good. I'm out of a
I
bet.
never. You know what? Hell must have froze over because They say it's never too late to turn to the good Lord. And Murdoch has seen the light, the error of his ways, and has finally rebuked the bad game devil that is Skull and Bones.
Exactly. I thought you would want to know that
Yeah.
because dude, I was not expecting that to happen.
Me either. If you would have told me that, if you would have just told me that on a whim, I would have been like, April Fool's isn't here yet, Zach. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, crazy town.
Yeah, I was not expecting.
Especially since Murdoch played the beta or whatever it
Mhm.
was, and he said, "Oh, it's a good game. It's not that bad." Blah blah blah. And it's like, well, it's not good enough for you to stop playing Helldivers.
I think it's because Helldivers is so good.
Oh
That
yeah,
he
no,
is
that's what I'm
like,
saying. It's like
yeah,
it's not good enough for you to stop playing this other game that is great.
yeah, yeah. Like he's hardcore, dude. He's like level 39. Like he's that is all he's been doing. He had a week off,
Oh
and
yeah.
like that's all he did was grind on Helldivers. So I'm very happy right now. I'm always very happy that we were able to free him. We were able to cast that devil out.
And now I see the light.
Nate asked, when is the DLC coming to Hogwarts?
I don't know if there DLC.
There's supposed to be.
I thought it was just like rough speculation.
So this is from Gaming Bible. They put
Mm-hmm.
out a post 2 days ago. Yeah. After learning that Hogwarts Legacy DLC is delayed, boo hiss, we're looking for other ways to keep the magic alive. Thankfully,
Hmm.
there was another whimsical DLC we can revisit for our time instead.
Huh.
You can get the Hogsmeade Haunted Hogsmeade DLC.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Hmm.
Um don't know when the other DLC, which I didn't even know there was other DLC coming out. So
Yeah.
there you go. There you go.
So I know we're gonna, well, I don't think we have, and just kind of mildly spoiling. No, we don't. Um, we don't. Going back to Helldivers for a second.
Hmm.
Obviously, that the game is great.
Yes.
The like servers are crashing, overloading. Full to capacity. It's crazy. It's insane town. I have two questions because this one of them
Okay.
popped in my head throughout the week, seeing all this as I'm posting it. And then the other one just popped up now. First question is, do you think this is pretty much like the way Helldivers 2 is doing for Arrowhead is what Returnal did for Housemark? Like it's pretty much their glow up at this point.
I feel like so because like the first Helldivers was interesting, but a lot of people are not in the top down genre.
Right.
But yes, I feel like because we've talked about Helldivers for a while
Yeah.
and nobody was talking about it.
Correct.
Nobody, other than like people like us, but
Right.
nobody was like, "Oh man, I'm really looking forward to Helldivers." It was kind of like, "Oh, this is coming out." And now that everybody's like got a hold of it, they're like, "I'm seeing it." I literally told my colleague today at work.
Hmm.
We were talking about games. I was like, Helldivers. I am seeing it just like I saw Elden Ring and
Mm.
Tears of the Kingdom on TikTok. It is
Mm.
constantly in my feed, and that
Yeah.
tells me that a lot of people are playing. Even they're even like wives and girlfriends. They're like, I'm doing my part for democracy, and like
Yeah.
they're literally logging in and trying to get them into the game when they're like at work.
Right.
Because Tuesday night, dude, I sat from 6 o'clock to about 8:20 trying to get into the game.
Oh wow! I was just gonna say, I'm surprised we even stream. We were able to stream at all.
Yeah, yeah. So like, I think this is Arrowhead and just really, really, taking the cake. And I hope that Sony is like, okay, we're gonna, because they're not first party, they're second party, right?
Yeah, they just partner with them. But which
Yeah.
is going to be my other question: is do you think this is the next one Sony buys?
Yes, I do. I,
I
I
agree
think I think from this success, it's like it wouldn't make any sense not to.
because they bought Housemark after the success of Returnal, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, this if that the track would follow, the track pattern would follow then.
Yeah. And it's like it's doing way better than Destiny.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, yes, there are a lot of issues, but I do like the commitment to the game and the transparency. The CEO of Arrowhead is on Twitter. They're
Mhm.
constantly talking about the game, and he said, and this is something that I was like, wow, that means a lot. He said,
Right.
if you're worried about server issues right now, don't buy the game. Wait
Correct.
until it's fixed. That is huge for a
Yeah.
CEO. It's like, hey, I know the hype's real right now, and
Hmm.
it might spoil your fun, you just waiting in a queue.
Yeah.
It's like, wait until
Well,
we get the server issues
and
fixed.
most CEOs, would be like, "Oh, buy the game, buy the game. I want more. I want more money." But he's
Yep.
like, I still want your money, but wait till the game you can actually play the game. Don't just buy it to sit there."
Yeah, exactly. So that says a lot to me as a
Correct.
gamer. Did you have another question?
No, that was it.
Okay.
Was would Sony buy them?
Okay. Dope. Guys, we hope that you're doing well tonight. Last thing before we roll into it, Nate says, "Gotcha. I'd heard rumors, heard it would be free DLC, but didn't know it was delayed." Yeah, so that's all I really know. Like I've heard, like, oh, that's going to have something added onto it, but
Hmm.
I don't think we've gotten really anything concrete, and
Yeah.
from what I remember. So, but yeah. I'm excited. Guys, we got an awesome show for you this week in gaming. Elden Ring wants Game of the Year again. Nintendo bringing that nostalgia, and PlayStation hopes exclusives make them money. Because this episode of the Nerd Cave News is brought to you by the Epic Games Store, where you can support us by going and using our creator code NerdCave at checkout. Also, Coffee Brand Coffee and our wonderful patrons, but more about that later. First up, I hope y'all are ready, guys. I hope y'all are ready. Because Elden Ring DLC date has been announced. Shadow of the Erdtree release date and gameplay trailer has been revealed. So let's take a look at this.
Full disclosure, I haven't seen this trailer yet.
I haven't either.
The Elden Ring.
Pure and radiant, he wields love to shrive clean the hearts of men.
All right.
There is nothing more terrifying.
Yep. Like the music.
Yeah. FromSoft. Makes it seem like a web. The way of the light.
Sacred place. Blood must spill. Blood of your fellows. The Erdtree faithful.
They were never saints. They just happened to be on the losing
hi.
side of a war.
Hi. Nah.
That's Burning
Ew.
Man, all right.
Ew.
Oh,
Like something out of Spirited Away.
yeah. Oof. And he's got lightning too? What?
I know.
Mother, wouldst thou truly lordship sanction in one so bereft of light?
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
I presume you, too, are keen to know
Ooh, rapid fire crossbow?
just what kind Mykola is doing here.
Whoa, that's cool.
Battle Warthog. Oh no. A porcupine hippo?
Stripped of the grace of gold shall all meet death in the embrace of Vesper's flame.
Got some long arms.
Touch the
Right.
withered arm and travel to the realm of shadow. I will not be far behind. May we meet again.
Interesting. June 21st.
Whew. Whew. Derek, how you feeling on that? How you feeling on that?
Well, I mean, as the resident anti FromSoft game person, like, and by anti, I mean the game's not for me. Games are great. Don't get me wrong. FromSoft makes fantastic games. They're just not my style. But that DLC, it makes it seem like they're almost making it. This is like an interquel. It almost feels like it because of the wait. Because Elden Ring came out last year, and this is like a year.
Year before last.
Oh yeah, it has been. Oh wow. Okay, yeah. So yeah, year before. So 2 years ago. So they've had plenty of time to marinate and let this cook.
Yeah.
So this almost feels like another game, like a sequel, but it's like DLC. And you know, I think this is going to be their most significant DLC, rightfully so, because this has been their best game that they've done. I don't even think. Correct me if I'm wrong, because Sekiro was the one before that. That didn't get any DLC at all. Correct?
I don't think so.
Because I think Dark Souls 2, 3, and Bloodborne have been the only games that they've done to get DLC. Because I know Demon Souls didn't.
Yeah.
I know Dark Souls 1 didn't. Don't, I might be wrong on that one. But I know 2, 3, and Bloodborne all got DLCs. But Sekiro, I don't think, as it won Game of the Year too, and it didn't get any DLC.
I'm looking just to make sure.
Yeah.
No, there was no DLC for Sekiro.
Okay, I didn't think so. Which is strange because again, that was another Game of the Year contender, and they had plenty of ideas for DLC, but it was weird not to see it from them. Maybe because Activision was the publisher, they're like, nah, just put out the game and be done with it. I do like, granted, a lot of those were like creatures, but there were like a lot of mini bosses and like in Elden Ring. So I wonder how many of these are mini bosses, because it didn't look like a lot of like the main villains looked like very minute. So I wonder, but again, there's always secret bosses, and they're probably going to hide stuff. But I wonder if there's going to be one that's going to be tougher than what's that lady, Melania? I think it is her name. Yeah. So wonder if there's going to be anyone that's tougher than her or on the same level. The dancer one looked kind of close to it.
From what, like, I was reading an article earlier today, like there's not going to be anyone that's tougher than her, but they're going to be on like the same level.
Okay.
Some of them will be on the same level and everything. So, I'm glad it finally got a date, because like we constantly were like, when is this going to come? Like, is it going to be now? When are we going to get an announcement? And then it was like, okay, there's an announcement. So
they got a release date before Hollow Knight Silk Song at this point.
yeah, exactly. But with Fires of Rubicon coming out last year, it was like,
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Not letting Elden Ring take its thunder. There was a lot that went into that. I know it's a very different game compared to what they've been known for recently, but it still did pretty well, overall. So I'm glad to see it. We're finally getting Elden Ring. Y'all let me know. Are y'all excited for some Elden Ring? Nate has a comment. I have no idea about the story. I feel like the story for Elden Ring and Zelda, super confusing, just like Final Fantasy. I have no idea what's going on in any of those. And
Death. That's all you need to know, Death.
I feel like, you've been thinking about playing it, says Nate. I've thought about playing it, and then I'm like, I played a good bit of, what was that Pinocchio game?
Liza P.
Liked it. It was just a time sink, and I need to get back to finish Sea of Stars. Helldivers taking up my time, y'all. Helldivers taking up my time. So, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now. But yeah, they always look great. They always look really cool. But it's just like, do I want to play these? And I do, but I know I'm not going to enjoy playing them.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's move into our next story. EA Sports College Football 25 arrives this summer with a full reveal in May.
Hallelujah. Speaking of things we've been waiting for, it's been 3 years since EA announced it was making a new college football game after a years-long hiatus. Dubbed EA Sports College Football 25, not much has materialized about the game since its reveal in the way of updates. But the publisher has broken its silence with a new trailer confirming a release window and promising a bigger look at the title in the near future. The video heavily leans into the skepticism fans have expressed over college football's existence, proudly expressing, yes, the game is real, while showing off snippets of behind-the-scenes development footage. The snazzy video doesn't do much besides that, but it ends with a promise of a full reveal in May in a summer launch window. EA Sports College Football 25 is being developed by EA Orlando, formerly known as Tiburon, the team behind the Madden games. This will be the first college football game from the publisher since the demise of its NCAA football series, the last entry of which was released in 2013. And we've got a teaser trailer.
Got something special for y'all. A little update for our fans from the big house to the bayou, from Carolina to California. Yeah, it's about college football. We know you love it. Us too.
Good thing takes time. Good things take time.
Yeah.
The rivalries, comebacks, the traditions and superstitions built by generations. There's nothing like it. Turns out, we've been building too. So let's address the big owl in the room. Yeah, we've seen the posts, the predictions, the doubts. We get it. It's been a minute. Let's just say, this ain't the only jersey we've been working on. The game this sport deserves. Because pretty soon, this place will be full again. Until then, cue the crowd noise.
Yeah, it's really happening.
Okay.
Yeah. So, two things. One, May is perfect because that's usually when they reveal like what the next Madden game is going to be, or like the first reveal of that. So that's perfect timing. And this summer, like July, that was its slot for many years before. Just take it back. The seat has been kept warm for you. Trust me. My other thing is like people complaining about like the game. How little we forget 2 years ago, or like whenever it was revealed, like they revealed it and it's like it's not coming out anytime soon.
Yeah.
Then 2022, beginning of that, they said, hey, we're just giving you an update. The game is still happening, but it's not going to come out until summer in 24, or like 2 years after, 2 years from now. So they've been telling you from the jump what to expect, and y'all are treating it like, oh, game's not coming out for like 10 years. I'm like, no, they told you, you just forgot. But no, like I'm excited, man. Like seeing, like, I almost didn't include the video, but it's like, nah, I want to include it because the hype is real. Like, man, if it like we just had the Super Bowl not too long ago, and I'm like, I'm already ready for football again after watching that. So like, just let's go. I'm ready for some college football to come back. Like, don't get me wrong, I haven't played. Tell you the truth, I haven't bought Madden in like 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So, but I will definitely buy college football again.
Yeah, I'm up for buying college football just because I remember playing it so much. That's the only way I'm going to play. Like, I'm not going to play Madden. That's not me at all. It's never really been my, like, NFL Blitz. Like, if they came out with that, I'd be down for some NFL Blitz. But I'm excited for this. Michael is excited. Yes, sir. And I want to be able to build a dynasty, develop the pipeline, do all of those things that we had in the past, and I know it's going to look better. Hopefully, it will play great, which I'm sure it will. So, because this is the team that's behind Madden and everything,
right? Now, here's my question, because they still have that contract. I think I don't remember if this last year for Madden was exclusively on the current gen consoles. But do you think NCAA will launch on everything like PS4, Xbox One as well, or it will just be exclusively new gen?
I think it will be new or current gen.
I think so too, because I think the way, like, if you're going to make us wait this long, and it's going to be like, there's got to be that cutoff where it's like it's only on current gen consoles. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's what they do as well.
Yeah, 100%. Michael says it was announced today that all schools have to sign on or have signed on to be represented as well.
Yeah, I saw something about athletes that sign on get $600 and a copy of the game because of the name, image, likeness stuff.
That's pretty cheap.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, people like the players, like for the professional players, get like it's pretty much around the same lines as the Madden players getting, or the NFL players getting paid for their images in Madden. Let's be fair. not a
Yeah,
copy of the
true.
game, but they don't get paid like a major
True.
check either. So
True. So yeah, I'm glad that they are getting some bank on it, because it is their likeness, and I'm glad we don't have to go into the character creator and
yeah,
make
yeah,
Tim Tebow and all of this kind of
and
stuff.
now that will be interesting. Is like, will they include every player? Like say like the starter goes out, will they include like the backup's name? Because for the longest time it was just like quarterback number 11 or whatever, or wide
Yeah.
receiver 32. So will they
Yeah.
include everybody's name in there, or just the players who sign on? I wonder.
I'm sure it'll be just the players that sign on,
Yeah,
because like you're dealing with like some legalities. They might just like fill in names from there,
yeah.
So I don't know. It is interesting. I'm glad to see college football coming back. But I am excited to talk about our next story, which is some Xbox updates. That's not the one. Xbox's next gen console has been confirmed. It will be the largest technical leap in a hardware generation. Xbox is not exiting the hardware market anytime soon. During the latest episode of the official Xbox podcast, focusing on the future business of Microsoft's gaming arm, Xbox President Sarah Bond teased Xbox has some exciting stuff coming out in hardware that the company plans to share this holiday. More interestingly, Bond teased, and what we're focused on there is delivering the largest technical leap you have ever seen in a hardware generation, which makes it better for players and better for creators and the visions they're building. Although Bond didn't specify what this hardware news would entail, leaked documents published last year revealed that Microsoft is planning to launch hardware refreshes for both the Series X and S. The mid-gen upgrade of the Series X is supposedly more compact than the original model and lacks a disk drive, and will have a 2 terabyte internal storage and a 16 gigs of RAM. In contrast, the updated Series S will include 10 gigabytes of RAM. However, pricing for these rumored consoles are yet to be seen. Yet the announcement of the next generation of Xbox consoles is the first time Microsoft has publicly announced that it is working on a new generation system since the court document leak were published. And according to one of the leaked documents, Microsoft planned to release a next generation console in 2028. Derek, what's your thoughts?
So it's sort of like a dumb moment, right? Because they talked about it at the start of the Series X and S life cycle, where Phil Spencer's like, we still yes, our focus and our future is going to be heavily invested in Game Pass and getting the Game Pass market and Xbox brand to anything that has a screen. However, he also stated how important hardware still is to their business model, to their company, and to gamers. So he's like, we're still going to be focused on hardware. May not be our sole bread and butter anymore, but going forward, but it's going to be an integral part. So it's just sort of a dumb moment that they would still like be in the hardware business. And I feel like, yes, after that business update, it was, while they did give some important information, I think it was also important to note, it's like, hey, look, man, we're not going anywhere just yet. We might, depending on how technology goes forward and what other kind of ways we can get games out there, we might, jump ship 10 years from now. But right now, we're going to still put a box in the living room.
Yeah. And hearing that the next one is going to be the next biggest leap and everything is interesting, because technically the Xbox Series X is the more powerful of the two consoles. I'm curious to see how PlayStation handles the mid-generation refresh, because I know we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I don't think they're putting all the eggs in that basket, and I don't think Xbox is either. But I will be curious to see where we go in the future, what kind of technology can be squeezed out of these machines, because I don't understand it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't understand all them beeps and boops and those ones and zeros. But hey, y'all keep doing the thing, and I'm glad that Xbox is staying in the console side of things, because it's going to push everybody forward. So that's what I'm excited about, Derek. Let's move on to our second story from Xbox. Game Pass will stay on Xbox formats and will not be coming to PlayStation.
So Game Pass will remain on Xbox, despite rumors that the service may eventually come to PlayStation and Nintendo formats. The format holder revealed that Game Pass will continue to only be available on Xbox platforms, following yesterday's announcements that the Xbox maker would be bringing 4 exclusive games to rival consoles. However, the previously rumored Starfield and Indiana Jones are not among them. Xbox players should have confidence in building your digital library in the Xbox ecosystem. We will continue to reward that with the most robust, player-friendly experiences, including backwards compatibility, cross-play, cross-save progression, convenient cloud gaming, and more. So, again, this was the Apple versus Epic. There was talks way back several years ago about that they were trying to work with Nintendo to maybe bring Game Pass to Switch, and that fell through because Nintendo's online ecosystem is trash. So it's good. I know Phil Spencer's talked about, hey, maybe one day PlayStation can hold play Game Pass, but I think that's sort of like a pie in the sky hope. Like that's if Sony ever wants to play ball, use like extending an olive branch. Is like, hey, it's there if you want it. But I don't think realistically, I think that they know that it's better just to put it on PC, cloud, and their own consoles.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like, okay, we've got 34 million subscribers to Game Pass, which it's still interesting that PlayStation Plus has more subscribers, but PlayStation did have a much larger install base last generation compared to the Xbox. So I think that's a lot of that reasoning. And PlayStation Plus used to be way better. In the PS4 generation for a while, it was like banging. But Game Pass, being on Xbox platforms and everything makes sense. Plus, they're bringing a few games, which we're going to talk about in a little while, to PlayStation and Nintendo. Those did get announced this week, which was very interesting to see how that was kind of handled overall. But it just tells me it's like we're going to see how much money we can make by just putting these games on there. And if we can make money that way, then that's the way we're going to move forward when games kind of slow down on our services. So I really look forward to seeing Game Pass grow. I'm really excited about cloud gaming because thank the good Lord we're past the Stadia era and everything. But like I play on xCloud as much as I play on my Xbox. Like I play a lot on my backbone and everything, and it's 9 times out of 10, like it's flawless. I would even say 9.9 times out of 10. But there are more people using it, which is a good thing because I think Power World was one reason, but a lot more people were using xCloud recently because the times were a lot longer.
Correct.
So I think it's good. I'm glad for them. We do have some more Game Pass news. And Phil Spencer suggests new Call of Duty games will hit Game Pass day one.
I told you.
Will this year's Call of Duty launch day one on Game Pass? Xbox Phil Spencer has suggested it will. Speaking to GameFile, Spencer said, "Our intent is that the full portfolio of games from ZeniMax, Activision Blizzard, and Xbox Game Studio will be on Game Pass day one. Microsoft has already announced that Diablo 4 is coming to Game Pass, and there is a clear intent to get all of the Call of Duty backlog into the library. But the suggestion the new Call of Duty games launch straight to Game Pass as well is a somewhat surprising one, given Activision's resistance to the idea in the past. Former Activision Blizzard and son of the devil Bobby Kotick stated he didn't agree with the idea of multi-game subscription service as a business proposition. Then speaking to IGN last year, Spencer responded to the opposing ideologies to say, well, there's a different person making the decisions.
Mic drop.
It's easy to see why Spencer would want the new Call of Duty games to launch on day one of Game Pass. However, AAA publishers have expressed concerns about the impact on game sales. Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick said during a financial call, "I still don't think it makes sense, and I believe that it's now becoming obvious that it doesn't make sense. It is just a lost opportunity for the publishers. So I wouldn't want to speak for my friend Phil, but our views remain unchanged." For now, Spencer said work is being done to get the existing Activision Blizzard games on Game Pass. We're doing the back-end work to make them come to PC and console simultaneously, Spencer said. Derek, what's your thoughts on all of this?
Well, again, I hate to tell you I told you so, but I told you so. You know, it's like when we first talked about like Activision Blizzard being bought by Microsoft, and then it's like everyone's talking about, oh, now that Starfield is and was exclusive, like what does that mean for Call of Duty? And I said, look, they're not going to cut off their nose to spite their face. They're not going to cut off their knees and cut their revenue in half.
Yeah,
they're going to put it on Game Pass for sure, but they were never going to make it exclusive. Now the question was will it be day one? And I kind of lean toward yes, they would, because again, they want return on investment, and they're like, look, yeah, and we've seen, yes, even though Game Pass, you don't pay anything extra, we have seen sales skyrocket from people who have subscribed to Game Pass and have increased their game purchasing because of it, because it's like a trial and error. It's like, hey, pay nothing extra outside of Game Pass, play this game, give this basically a full trial run, and if you like it and if you want to own it, buy it. So, and it just makes sense, right? Because like Diablo 4 is coming soonish, or like this summer to Game Pass, I think, or no, what was like soon, if it's not already out, like March, right?
Hold on, I'm looking it up. March 28th.
Okay, so in a month. So that was the first domino to fall. Call of Duty is the next logical step. Now it's like, okay, now when is big Blizzard games on the PC side going to step over to Game Pass? So it just makes sense. I'm surprised because when asked about this, Phil Spencer said, "Oh, it's going to be a later thing," and I guess he just meant because he was interviewed about it last year that it's going to just be a year from now. So because I know like there's been rumors like the new Call of Duty is going to be Gulf War or Gulf Coast War or something like that. It's going to be something about the Gulf Coast. So, and it also will help for the Call of Duty games that, yes, there have been some bad ones, some less than stellar ones, but they still kill it in NPD sales. It'll help for the ones that are not that great looking or not that promising to still get a breath of life from Game Pass.
Yeah, just looking, over on Activision Blizzard's website.
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty, clear one that they're wanting everything, but what if we get, Crash Bandicoot on Game Pass? We get Spyro on Game Pass. I know those are like a little bit more nostalgia based and everything. Get Sekiro on Game Pass, and then Tony Hawk.
Yes.
Bring all the old Tony Hawk games. And
American Underground or American Wasteland.
American Wasteland, and then you had before that Underground 1 and 2, which those are awesome. Pro Skater 4 was really good as well. And the remake that we got was great of 1 and 2 about 2 years ago. So that would be amazing to see those games come to it. And I don't think they do anything with Warcraft, like World of Warcraft.
Yet.
I don't know. I know they have specific games that are PC only for Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's because you have to have a subscription to play WoW. You can start for free, but then when you hit, there's a level cap to it.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. Overwatch, it's free to play, so there's no reason to put it on Game Pass. I do like Diablo.
I mean, the Ultimate Edition with all the extra skins, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. I do like that Diablo is coming to it for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, those are kind of the big ones, and there are other games, but I just want to see like some of the older things that are bigger come to Game Pass from Activision Blizzard. So
Wasn't Bring Back Singularity?
Was Singularity part of that?
I think it was Raven Software that did it.
Yeah.
Are
they part
of? Well, they were at the time. I think they were Activision.
Yeah.
Hold on. You looking it up?
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
Okay.
Yeah, they work on Warzone, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. They met the same fate as the Crash Bandicoot team. They just got it. They were the first ones to get absorbed into Call of Duty support.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll see them. But yeah, bring Singularity. Who made Prototype? Who was that?
I think it was Activision as well.
Prototype would be dope. Let's see, pulling it up. Where is it at? Radical Entertainment. Who's that? Who's that under? Vivendi Games, Activision. Okay, they're under Activision. Okay. So there are a lot of cool things that are within this. So I'm excited. Will COD this year come day one? I don't know. That might be the plan. It might be next year. But for them to finalize everything and then Diablo come out this quickly for Game Pass,
I think this year is likely because again, like yes, Diablo by the time it hits, it'll have been 9 months since the game released, but COD's always a fall game, so they'll have plenty of time to work out the legalities and bring it to Game Pass.
Yeah. Well, COD coming to Game Pass is so far away, but if you need a pick-me-up right now, guys, you can get some delicious Coffee Brand coffee. They have quality coffee with no gimmicks and no politics. Nearly 4,000 verified reviews, and most of those are 5 out of 5. They got 12 coffee blends, 12 organic teas, 3 hot cocoa flavors, and if you prefer cold brew and K-Cups, those are available as well. Amy's tried the medium roast. She loved that, and she tried the chai tea. So they have some great stuff in there, and they got some interesting flavors like blueberry cobbler flavored coffee. Sounds delicious. And the thing that always gets me is everything is hand roasted, fresh to death. It's right there when you order it. Okay, it's not sitting there like Folgers. Okay, it's not sitting on the Walmart store that someone kicked down the aisle. It's great, it's fresh, and it's based in the U.S., guys. So elevate your coffee experience with Coffee Brand coffee today. Use code NerdCave at checkout or the link in the description below to get 5% off your order today.
Do it now.
Let's move into the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase. We got a bunch of good little goodies in here. It kicked it off by Obsidian's Grounded and Pentiment are the first Xbox games coming to Switch and PlayStation.
So we got all, like, literally after talking about the business update last week and how they said 4 mysterious games, literally not even a week later, we get all 4 announced in the same day. 2 of them at this Direct. The other 2 were kind of announced as a blog post, kind of to wrap everything up with a bow. But after it was revealed late last week that Xbox was planning to release 4 of its previous first-party games onto other platforms, today's Nintendo Direct revealed that Obsidian Games titles Grounded and Pentiment are coming to Nintendo's hybrid console. Pentiment will be released is out now, while Grounded will be released on April 16th. We'll talk about the other 2 games in a minute, but those, like, all 4 games will be coming to PlayStation, but only Grounded and Pentiment are going to be coming to Switch.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting.
For now, anyway.
Yeah, I think because Sea of Thieves is a lot more taxing and it's all online. Like the Grounded that we're getting on Switch, that thing is ugly.
I didn't see it, but I can imagine because I
Ooh,
mean,
it is
what-
ugly. It
what
is like
I know The Witcher was rough. What was the other game that was like we both went ugh like when we saw it on Switch? I forget what it was, and it's gonna irk me. There was
I think
another
it was The
third party
Witcher.
port. It was The Witcher, but I feel was it the Batman Arkham?
Yeah, that one looked bad too.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was that one where we both went like, "Ew, this ain't it, dog."
Yeah, I did. It was interesting that Grounded is going to be crossplay between all of them.
Yeah,
So I don't know how that's going to work.
yeah,
But if Fortnite can do it, then anybody can do it, I guess, these days.
correct.
So, and like, yes, we're getting these games, but the next story is also very interesting because
Right.
classic rare games, including Killer Instinct, Battletoads, and Battle Maniacs, are out now for Switch Online. Some more classic rare games from the NES, SNES, and N64 eras are coming the way to Switch via Switch Online today. Killer Instinct, Battletoads, Battle Maniacs, RC Pro AM, Snake Rattle and Roll will be available on Switch Online, and Switch Online Plus expansion pack subscribers will also have access to the N64 game Blast Core. We got a trailer. I just wanted Rare is owned by Xbox.
Right.
For Nintendo to be able to put these games out, because we did get a Battletoads recently. We have a Killer Instinct over on the Xbox. There's a deal here as well.
Yeah.
You
There's
know,
got to be.
There's a dealer here as well. I wonder if we get like Diddy Kong Racing. And
Ooh.
like, because Rare worked on that.
Yeah.
They worked on another Donkey Kong game. I can't remember which one it
Wasn't
was.
it Tropical Freeze on the Wii U?
I'm not sure.
Or was that Retro? It may have been Retro.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was one of the old Donkey Kong games, but
One of the old ones. Okay.
Yeah.
I know Tropical Freeze was like the last big one, and I couldn't remember if Rare or Retro did that one.
It was Retro because Rare was already owned by
Yeah, good point.
Xbox and everything. So this was cool to see. I was not expecting this. So let's check out this trailer. Like seeing the old Rare.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, oh my gosh.
Oh, do you think we'll also get Banjo-Kazooie?
Maybe this is the start.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
I'm so glad that games have come so
I
much
know.
further. Like this Blast Corp game.
oh my gosh.
Like I was like, is this what gaming
These
used
games
to
are
be?
available.
That was the mecca
today.
back then, man.
Yeah, I
You
know.
can play them with an active Nintendo Switch Online or Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack membership.
So
I like how they hide Blast Core behind the expansion pack. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's like I don't think anyone's like going after that one.
Right.
You know what I mean? I might be wrong, but there might be some Blast Core fans that are just like, you know what I mean? But I was just like, when I saw it, I was like, man, that's what gaming used to be.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I
It's like-
know, man. It's thank God we've come a long way since then.
yeah, 100%. Dan says, I don't remember who did it, but I remember the Prince of Persia remake that looked worse than original. Yeah, that's the one that keeps getting delayed.
And now they haven't even talked about it. And now that Lost Crown is the new one.
Yeah.
The Lost Crown is out. Like everyone's talking about that one, and like Ubisoft's like, good. Forget about the terrible first impression remake we did.
Yeah, it's like we're not doing a remake. I don't know what you're talking about.
Just gaslighting us.
Yeah. Mandela effect. It's like, no,
Yeah.
that's not in this timeline. You don't know what you're talking about.
Right. But no, like I think you're onto something. Like, and it wouldn't be surprising. Now, granted, yes, the new Battletoads game that came out for Xbox a couple of years ago, like, didn't really hit the mark. But I wouldn't be surprised if we got that on Switch, like down the road as well.
Yeah. Well, and you think about it, GoldenEye was rare as well. And we just got like a re-release of that
Yeah.
on last year in January.
Yeah.
So
Perfect Dark.
Perfect Dark, we could see that. Interesting stuff there.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
The Microsoft has opened the floodgates.
They have. A new Super Monkey Ball game is coming this June.
So during today's showcase, Sega announced that a new Super Monkey Ball franchise entry is coming exclusively to Nintendo Switch on June 25th. Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble is the first new entry in the series in over 10 years. Aside from being a new installment in over a decade, Banana Rumble introduces some new features to the series. Most notably, this will mark the first time up to 16 players from across the globe can duke it out on multiplayer modes. Multiplayer modes aside, Banana Rumble will also include an adventure mode that includes 200 brand new stages. Either tackle the levels yourself or up to 4 friends via local or online play, which will be trash.
I love that it's like a Apple commercial.
All right. The gameplay is always, intrigued me because it's like I cannot do balance games. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not for me.
Yeah.
Does look colorful though.
You're right.
Derek, I know you're getting that day one.
You know it, man. Like day 0 if I could.
But if you pre-order now, you can get it 3 days early.
Heck yeah.
With the banana suit, man.
Banana phone. What was I gonna say? It's crazy also to think that this is the first new entry, because I'm thinking it's like we've gotten Super Monkey Ball games, but they've all been like not remakes, but like remasters or ports. Yeah. So it's crazy to think it's been 10 years since the last new entry into Super Monkey Ball.
Yeah, I never played one. Like this is not
Me
a game
either
that I've ever played, ever wanted to play. It's it looks like a fever dream. It just looks
You're
like
not
a
wrong.
Straight up fever dream to me. I'm just like, what is going on here? Everyone's gonna quit Helldivers and go play Monkey Ball.
Yeah, man.
You know it. Everybody's got that FOMO. I'm like, I'm gonna play Monkey Ball.
Hey, man, I'm surprised. Hey, I mean, look, Foam Stars was the number 1 game in everyone's hearts until Helldivers came along.
I don't think that's true, Derek. I don't think that's true.
In Sony's mind, it was. In Square Enix's mind, it was.
In their hearts, they were hoping, but
right,
people would rather twiddle their thumbs than play Foam Stars.
I didn't even hear about any like concurrent players for Foam Stars. That's how bad it was, probably. Anyway,
yeah. Let's move on to the next game that was shown at the Nintendo Direct. South Park Snow Day announced for the Switch. We already knew that South Park Snow Day, a new 3D co-op game, is coming to the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S on March 26. Today, publisher THQ Nordic announced that the game will also be released on the Nintendo Switch. And we've got a trailer.
Come on, it's a snow day. Come on, Butters. Let's go, Stan. Snow day, everyone.
By the way,
Welcome to
apologies
South
in advance.
As the new kid,
All right, you're on now, new kid.
join Cartman, Stan, and the rest of the gang to save the town in this co-op action game. Choose from a wide range of iconic South Park items and cosmetics to customize your character however you'd like. Once you're set, it's time for battle. Take on an avalanche of enemy factions.
It's
in
crazy
solo play
how
or
good
online co-op with up to 3 friends.
Nintendo
Grab
can
your
make their
gang and
games
head
look,
into
but
the
then
fray
third
in
parties
South Park Snow
Yeah, it
Day.
looks
struggle
Launching
so
on
hard.
Nintendo Switch,
Right.
March
It's like, what's the
26th.
secret sauce?
Pre-orders are available now on Nintendo eShop.
It's a snow day, dude.
I mean, cool. Like, that's going to be Embracer Group's shining gem, I guess you could say. That's THQ Nordic because it's the only studio they have left that does games.
Yeah, true.
But also, it doesn't look as great as the last 2 South Park games that they did because that was the turn-based RPG ones with Stick of Truth and the Fractured Butthole. But good on it, and it was like when it's like, okay, Snow Day got shown, but I thought it was already coming to Switch just because the other 2 have. But the fact that they had to make a special announcement was like, oh, hey, by the way, we are putting it on Switch. It's like, you kind of a little late to the party, aren't you?
Yeah. And it's like, is the Switch the place to put this game?
Right.
It's like you spread your resources, and I know like the Switch has a huge install base.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like you spread your resources thinner to be able to get it on this console and run and everything. Hopefully it will run well, because nothing's worse than getting a game that just doesn't run well on any console. I don't care who it is. You're spending hard-earned money.
Yeah.
And it's like, what could you have done to, made the game better or whatever without putting it on Switch? I don't know. I feel like it's a waste, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because
they're just doing it because the other 2 are on it.
Yeah. Because like when you think about it, it's like the majority of people that are on Switch are people that love Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley, or they're younger.
Yeah.
Kids, you know what I mean? Or they're wanting to play like Mario games. They're not wanting to play this.
No.
I feel like it's, I don't know. I feel like it's
I mean,
a waste.
You're right. I mean, especially this late in the console life, in the Switch's life cycle. Like, if it's to be true that Switch 2 is within the next calendar year, like you're wasting resources.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's Embracer Group trying to get some sort of money because they suck. So there you go. Next up, Epic Mickey Rebrushed is a remake of the 2010 Wii exclusive, and Epic Mickey, the 2010 platformer released on the Wii, is getting a facelift for Nintendo Switch with Epic Mickey Rebrushed. In addition to the upgraded graphics and other improvements, this remake will add new skills for Mickey to take advantage of. Epic Mickey Rebrushed is out sometime later this year on the Nintendo Switch. I'm assuming this is going to be exclusive.
Well, and it's like I paused because maybe it was the second one I'm thinking of, because I know Epic Mickey came to other platforms, but I think that was when they did the second game in the series. The first one I think was solely exclusive.
Okay. Well, let's check out this trailer.
On a peculiar
What is the
day,
March
Ken
25th?
Sid's mischievous mirror lured Mickey Mouse into his workshop.
That would have been a good
Finding
nod
the
to
magic paintbrush, a
the release
curious Mickey
date.
creates a mess and becomes trapped in a magical wasteland inhabited by forgotten and rejected characters.
Mickey.
The platforming adventure, Epic Mickey, returns in a faithful
Oh,
remake
gosh.
of the beloved classic. Explore this unusual dimension, using the magic brush to shape the world with
Almost
paint
gives me
and
like,
paint thinner on
you know,
the
like
path to
Halloween Town
become an
vibes.
Epic hero. Disney Epic Mickey Rebrushed launches on Nintendo Switch this year.
It looks good, you know.
Yeah.
It's not something that I'm like, oh my god, and like,
Right.
take my money. Like, again, like I feel this, of course, is not a first party direct,
No.
so it is like filling in a lot of gaps. Like we're getting a lot more stuff on the calendar, because
Yeah.
it was like there was as the year went, there was like less and less games. So now we are getting more of that. Are you excited for this, Derek? Are you going out to get a Switch right now?
No. And kudos, because when it came out to the Wii way back in the day, it was a big deal. I won't say a big deal, but it was a pretty decent game at that time. So good to know that they're going back in the catalog. It's like, hey, what third-party game haven't we ported over to the Switch? Let's do this one. So good on them, because I know I wonder if they'll keep the magic with the Switch Joy-Cons, because I know the paintbrush, like when you splurted paint, you use the Wii remote to, aim and move it and all that kind of stuff. So I wonder if they'll keep that same, shtick with the Joy-Cons, but we'll see.
Maybe. Now this one I got excited for, Derek. I was like, this is what I'm here for. I wasn't expecting it, but now I'm here for it. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection has been announced.
So I don't know I forget if it's Aspire or Asper Media is back at it with another re-release of a beloved classic Star Wars game, as the studio announced the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection today. As the name implies, the Battlefront Collection is a compilation of the first two Star Wars Battlefront games. Alongside bundling the two games, it includes new content, including maps and characters. One of the new characters including Jedi Kit Fisto, while Jabba's Palace is among one of the new maps. A new mode called Hero Assault will also be available. The Classic Collection is out on March 14th for the Switch, plus PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. And we've got a trailer.
Fight in iconic battles from across the Star Wars galaxy in this collection of
I'm so stoked for this.
I know.
Up to 64 players can strike back against
64 players.
in massive
Crazy.
online battles. This collection includes additional playable characters such as Kit Fisto and additional maps like Jabba's Palace. Plus, battle as your favorite heroes or villains in Hero Assault.
Oh.
Play as Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and more on maps including Death Star and Naboo. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection launches on the Nintendo Switch system March 14th. Pre-orders begin today on Nintendo eShop.
Oh, I'm so excited, Derek.
So Zach,
so
March
excited.
14th, you're gonna dump Helldivers and we're gonna play this, right?
Yeah, actually, I'm not even kidding. When I'm seeing when March 14th is it a stream day? Is it a stream day? It's a Thursday. It's a Thursday.
Well, I mean, Helldivers launched on a Thursday and you played it the following Tuesday, so
True. But dude, like getting both of that,
yeah.
like
Plus,
that is
plus a new character and new map.
yeah, which it might have more characters than just Kit Fisto.
Yeah.
Dan asks, is it a remake or is it just adding to existing content? So it's not a remake. It's more of a re-release with some additions to it.
Yeah. If you couldn't tell by the trailer, the graphics did not look remade. Just be fair.
Yeah. So like with Hero Assault, you could only play on Tatooine on the original Battlefront 2. So now getting to do that on more maps is going to be really, really cool. Dude, I'm looking forward to, Galactic Assault or Galactic Campaign. Dude, I'd play so flippin' much on Galactic Campaign and like the second game. Like I hope, oh my gosh, I'm getting like when I saw this, I was like, might have to take off work. I can't take off work that day, but yeah. So more like official mods, says Dan. Sort of like we are getting new characters and new maps. We are getting additions to it, but it's not going to be like a full blown new game. I'm hoping. Like, how crazy will it be that this game does better than Battlefront 2, any of the EA Battlefronts?
Oh yeah, I mean,
that we've gotten recently.
It'll crush one by far. Let's be fair.
Yeah. So I'm excited. Y'all let me know, hey, because I think it's going to be pretty cheap. They're usually like around like $40 for these games, if not cheaper.
Yeah, I'm about to say I was maybe $30, but 40 will probably be the sweet spot.
So we'll see how it holds up. We'll see how it holds up because not every old game holds up that well.
No.
Derek, you want to hit these other tidbits from the direct?
So just, there was 12 announcements and all, and I just focused on the 6 that, were bigger to us. Some other announcements included Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance is a revamped version of the 2021 Switch exclusive and will be releasing on June 21st. Endless Ocean Luminous is coming to the Switch on May 2nd. And for people thinking that, it's a remake or a remaster of one of the previous 2 games, no, it is a continuation. So this would be the 3rd game in the series. Ender Magnolia Bloom in the Mist. Bloom in the Mist is a sequel to the 2021 game Ender Lilies. Monster Hunter Stories is getting remastered for modern platforms. Gundam Breaker 4 was announced, and it will be out sometime this year. And lastly, as a big troll to fans of the series, Mother 3 is coming to Switch Online, ... but only in Japan.
Why are they doing that?
you know
what I mean?
I don't know what's more egregious. The fact that Nintendo is gatekeeping this game from Americans and just to keep it in their homeland, or the fact that people are just frothing at the mouth for this series. Don't get me wrong. I know I have that hot take from the Game Awards about Zelda. I've watched gameplay on Earthbound and the Mother series. It's fun. It looks cool, but I don't get the hype around it. You know what I mean? I don't know why people are raising their pitchforks and torches and be like, give us Mother 3. It's cool, I guess, good for you. But the series, I don't think it's needed.
I think it's more of a nostalgia thing than anything at this point. For me, I couldn't care less about Mother 3 or Earthbound, whichever way you want to call it. It is weird, but I think most of it is because it hasn't been localized. That's probably a lot of it, because I don't think Mother 3 ever came over here.
No, it still hasn't.
Yeah, so I think that's what it is. It's just not localized. So it's we can put it over there, but you're not gonna unless you speak Japanese, you're not gonna know what's going on.
So, people will find out the hacks. Let's be fair.
True. Dan, I 100% agree. Dan says I have not been impressed by the Gundam Breaker series. I haven't been impressed with a Gundam game in a very long time. The PlayStation 2 Gundam games, man, the early ones, I ate that stuff up. I play every freaking one of them. But when you get down to it, a lot of the Gundam games don't make you feel big. You don't feel like you're in the mech and you're destroying things. It's just the scale, the vibe is not there.
That's true.
And I'm all about the vibes, Derek. I'm all about the vibes.
The realisticness of it?
No, it doesn't have to be realistic, but it's got to have the vibe.
You
know? That's why we got to get into some PlayStation news, because we got to clear out these vibes of these other consoles. Everybody's like, Sony Pony. Let's talk about some PlayStation news. PlayStation 5 Pro release reportedly due in the second half of 2024.
So speaking to CNBC, Canton Games CEO Serkin Toto seemed very certain that Sony is gearing up for a revised version of its flagship console, following the release of the colloquially dubbed PS5 Slim in November. Quote, there seems to be a broad consensus in the game industry that Sony is indeed preparing to launch of the PS5 Pro in the second half of 2024, and Sony will want to make sure to have a great piece of hardware ready when GTA 6 hits in 2025, a launch that will be a shot in the arm for the entire games industry. So, no surprise, they've done this before. Well, it's sort of like a reverse of what Xbox did and Sony did last generation, because Xbox released the One S and then a year later released the One X. Sony was like, hey, Slim in summer, Pro in fall. So last fall, they kind of I wouldn't say stealth launch, but surprise, last minute announced, hey, we're doing a Slim version and it's real and it's coming soon. So it makes sense that Pro, they always want to do these hardware refreshes around the holidays. That's when people are spending the most money. It's what do you want under the tree this year, Jimmy? I want a PS5 Pro. So here we go. My thing will be how much more powerful will it be? Because we got some specs on what the Xbox's mid generation hardware would be, but now what's Sony going to bring to the table? Because again, and I meant to talk on it earlier, Xbox has always had the more powerful, like at least since Xbox One, well, more like One X, they've always had the more powerful hardware, but they've never had the software and the mind share, the two most important factors in games, to overtake Sony.
Yeah, 100%. And like we see this every time, every generation we get, like last generation, we got the regular, we got the slim, then we got the pro. It's just kind of par for the course and everything. So I think because this generation has been so weird with COVID and everything, and like the lack of consoles being out in the wild, that like we're just kind of like most people have just recently got a PlayStation or an Xbox, and it's like they're already talking about new consoles and upgraded ones
upgrade
and all this. And
well, it's sort of like the films and the games industry, because they've had so many projects put on pause that now it's like we need a rush to get it out here, like make money, like put it out, like make money, and it's like the consoles are following suit now.
Yeah, and it's like people only have so much money.
Right.
It's like people only have so much money. Their money only goes so far, and when the necessities are way more expensive, you're not going to get people to buy these things. You might put it out there, but who has the money? Can you actually manufacture these things where there's enough of them?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's my biggest thing. Like, I know we're not in the pandemic and things are a little bit different, but it's like we've got to be, like really into our mind here. It's like, do people have the money to go buy one of these? 9 times out of 10, no. And FOMO's real. Like watching Kind of Funny, like they're talking about games that I probably wouldn't buy, but it's like they're talking about it. It's like, oh man, that sounds really interesting. I want to play it, and it's like PS4, PS5 Pro sounds cool, like having more power and all of that, but GTA 6 is not being developed for the PS5 Pro.
No, it's already like dev kit. I'm sure they don't even have a dev kit yet to send out to them.
So I don't know. Like I know that we're in this place where we've got to keep pushing things. We got to keep going. And I know, hardware is always getting better and better and better, but it's like, at some point it's like, you gotta know where to draw the line for yourself. So I don't want anybody to ever feel like it's like, they might release it, doesn't mean you got to buy it. Because I never bought the PS4 Pro. Like, I didn't feel like I needed one other than that God of War one, because, man, that thing looked dope.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty much the only one.
Yeah. So
it's the only one that you gave up your gold one for.
No, I still have my gold one.
Oh, that's right. I must say, I had to give up my gold one because it's like, what am I going to do with 2 PS4s?
Yeah, I gave it my original for the gold one.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. And then it was like the Pro came out and I was like, whatever. I don't even care. Got some more Sony news for y'all. SIE head Hiroki Toteki cites strong first-party titles as a key to improving Sony's operating margins. Sony's chief operating officer, Hiroki Toteki, is temporarily leading Sony Interactive Entertainment following Jim Ryan's departure. Toteki is actively working to improve Sony's operating margins for its game business. He believes that the first-party titles on PS5, PC, and other platforms are key to achieving this. During a recent Q&A session, Toteki mentioned that manufacturing costs for the PlayStation 5 are hindering margin improvement, but emphasized the importance of strong first-party games for margin growth. The meaning of other platforms is likely mobile devices and cloud platforms, as Sony has expressed interest in strengthening its presence in these areas. PlayStation Virtual Reality 2 is also a possibility, although it is often overlooked in public discussions and by Sony itself. A more unlikely option is Sony bringing its games to Xbox and Nintendo, and potentially for the multiplayer offerings, which I highly doubt that. So, Derek, thoughts?
I was gonna say, let me clear the air on that last part, right? There's no way, like maybe Nintendo, but especially like because Jim Ryan, like he's retiring after the end of next month and leaving Sony. They're not wanting to spit in his face, especially after he was like, I just want to block your merger. And I'm not saying that it won't be they can't play fair down the line, but it's also Sony's MO to want to play ball. Like they only gave up MLB to because of licensing with the MLB. That's the only reason they gave up the show to Xbox and Switch. They're not going to do that. You're not going to see God of War. You're not going to see Horizon on Xbox or play Nintendo anytime soon. But yeah, because of that's out the door. I do agree with them that cloud, PC, your mobile devices, I do think that's going to be their future. Just like with Xbox is like, like we're not going to put our Game Pass on PlayStation and Switch. We're just going to strengthen on anything else that has a screen, mainly your mobile device.
Yeah, and Portal, like PlayStation Portal, is a testament to that. They're wanting, like I think other devices, people aren't considering that, but you do have to have a PlayStation to do that.
Yep.
I don't think we get another handheld device from PlayStation. VR, it's there, but it's not supported. No. It's not supported, and it costing more than the console is a shot in the foot. Like it makes it where people aren't going to buy it. Like you can buy a MetaQuest by itself and play more games than what the VR2 could do. So yeah, I think they definitely want to move more into the cloud side of things. But they haven't had the strongest track record in that. So only time will tell.
Yeah.
Derek, it's time for the PlayStation Quickies.
And we got some quickies. So first up, Sony's value has reportedly dropped by 10 billion with a B following revised PS5 sales forecast. Google engineers hacked PlayStation Portal to play PSP games offline. Weird move. Hiroki Toteki says Bungie needs to improve at, quote, assuming accountability for development timelines. Forever Skies brings first-person survival adventure to PS5 as a console debut exclusive this year. As the 4 games we alluded to earlier, the other 2 that got announced coming multi-platform from Xbox, Hi-Fi Rush will arrive on PS5 March 19th, while Sea of Thieves will set sail for the PlayStation 5 on April 30th. Helldivers 2 servers hit capacity limit as Arrowhead works to address, but there has been a patch and will kick AFK, meaning after 15 minutes, if you're just sitting there idling, they will kick you from the server to give that space to someone who actually wants to play, not just holding a spot. Arrowhead CEO says it's worth waiting to buy Helldivers 2 until the server problems are fixed. An interesting one, Helldivers 2 was built on a discontinued engine, and they say our crazy engineers had to do everything. Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 is at roughly the same stage as Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was when Remake 1 wrapped development. And lastly, journalist claims we won't have to wait long to see the new Twisted Metal game.
Is anybody interested in a new Twisted Metal game? You know what I mean? Like
they're just capitalizing on the Peacock, the fact because the first season did well. They already confirmed a second season at the Game Awards, and they're just riding off that hype train. Let's be fair. Like, is anyone excited? Probably not. The hardcore fans will, but they're just riding off the coattails.
Yeah, I feel like that's such a game that is like meant to stay in the 90s.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? That's just how I feel on that. Yeah, Helldivers, doing great. Just doing great. And it being built, I didn't know that it was built on a discontinued engine. Like,
that was an interesting one.
That's even more of a like, man, they've really made a good game off of, less than. So
right.
I'm excited to get back into it. But Hiroki Toteki saying Bungie needs to.
I was just
assume
thinking that you're talking about
accountability.
how it's better than Destiny, and I'm like, wait till we get to the quickies.
Yeah, like that is big from, again, he's not the forever head of SIE, but like he's the interim and everything. But it's true. Bungie likes to blame everybody.
Yep.
And I love Bungie. But they have gotten rid of a lot of the people that created Bungie and ran Bungie, and it's become super corporate and not the greatest place. And they like to point fingers.
Yep.
We saw that with Activision. We've seen it with Sony as well. So it's like sometimes you gotta act like an adult and take responsibility.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Well,
like you're all
especially like because the final shape has like been through such like rough development and like they've had to delay it. It's like, okay, guys, like when are you gonna like you're at the finish line before Destiny 3 drops, or before you talk about Destiny 3 and look to that future, and now you're fumbling the ball. Like, come on, guys. Like, this is Game of Thrones season 8 at this point.
Yeah. Well, do you think there's another Destiny? Do you think?
Oh,
there's
well,
a
they said the
Destiny
final
3?
shape is going to wrap up Destiny 2. That's for sure. Like,
but do you think there's going to be another Destiny?
I mean, they've invested so much time. Like now, will Sony want it? That'll be the real question. But I think Bungie internally, like they've spent so much resources and they've spent literally 10 years making this game and this like world. I feel like it's only because they wanted when they started this franchise, they had a 10-year plan in place originally. Granted, that changed and fell through a lot from the way like people reacted because they were under Activision at the time. So Activision had much different plans than Bungie wanted. But I think they wanted this to be the Space Odyssey version of WoW, where it's like every year get a new expansion. You have these like events, like create this ever expanding lore. Like add more to your character, like heck, we even have like different vehicles, like the mounts type of thing. Yeah. So I feel like they do. No, has it beaten WoW? No, by no means. Like it has it's gained its rightful mind share, but I feel like would I be surprised if tomorrow they said, or whenever the final shape drops, like the next day, that's like, all right, we're not doing Destiny anymore. No, but do I think they put such time and sink into this world that they should continue and do a Destiny 3? Yes.
Yeah. So right now they've got 32,000 people. The 24-hour peak was 32,673. So there are people playing. All-time peak was 12 months ago with 316,750, and this is Steam. So this is not including, console,
PlayStation,
like
yeah.
that.
Well, and it says like 12 months ago, that's when the last expansion dropped. So yeah, I think whenever the new expansion drops, the player count will skyrocket.
Yeah, it's staying around between like high 20s to like 40,000 people playing on Steam. But like you think about it, it's like people aren't talking about Destiny because there's nothing going on.
True.
And again, it's like they're not executing,
Yeah.
And like I know they're working on Marathon as well, so we'll see that before.
That's true. They may take a break. They may like say, hey, let's get Marathon out and let's just let Destiny 3 gestate and like make sure like when we're ready to release it, it's the game that people want.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I fell out of love with Destiny because it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like I wanted it, but then it was just like, this is boring.
Yeah. Like I know it was when minor spoilers, even though it's like been like 7-8 years at this point, like the expansion where they killed off Cade.
Yeah.
Like I know that like really like set the story. Like that's when like there was actual story to it.
Yeah.
I know 2 like set a good precedent for the story, but when they killed Cade, that's when the story really took off and they got people back in, but
but they brought him back.
Yeah, I know they're bringing him back for the final shape, aren't they?
Yeah, something like that. So, guys, there's all the PlayStation Quickies. We got one more segment for you. This is the Patreon Quick Hits. The Quick Hits are brought to you by our wonderful patrons. You can go support us at patreon.com, the Nerd Cave, of course. And you can help us continue to make awesome shows like this one. Keep the lights and the mics on. So become part of the ship, part of the crew over at patreon.com/nerdcave. And if you don't have any extra bucks to toss, that's totally fine as well, because you can join us over on Patreon right now for free and see some of the cool things, because guys, we got something coming
Yeah.
in the next few weeks.
X gonna give it to you. Gonna give it to you.
Just saying. So you don't want to miss that out. And patrons are going to get it first. Just saying. Patrons going to get it first. The Patreon quick hits for this week. Derek, take it away.
So speaking of Embracer Group confirms it shelved 29 unannounced games between July and December of last year. Starbreeze says Payday 3 is performing at, quote, significantly lower levels than expected. Adam Jensen, voice actor, claims Eidos asked him to stop talking publicly about the character. Bandai Namco reveals that it canceled at least 5 games recently and aims to focus on stricter quality control. Disco Elysium dev reportedly plans to lay off a quarter of its staff, and an expansion for the game has also been canceled. New report claims Blizzard is set to cut 136 jobs at its Cork, Ireland office. From Software now appears to be the sole owner of the Elden Ring IP. Xbox Game Pass now has 34 million fully paid subs, and growth coming from PC and cloud. Phil Spencer acknowledges Windows shortcomings on ROG Ally and other handhelds and promises to improve it. Phil Spencer says Helldivers 2 not being on Xbox isn't helping the games industry. Spencer also says Xbox is, quote, supportive of physical media amid rumors of shift to digital business. Microsoft Flight Simulator and the new Doom game reportedly being considered for rival consoles. Diablo 4's microtransactions go from bad to worse with a $65 horse bundle that costs more than the game itself. Remedy confirms Control 2 and Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes have increased development pace. Alan Wake 2 sells 1.3 million copies, and Remedy looks to grow and expand the series going forward. Following that, Alan Wake 2 Photo Mode is coming via a free update in spring. WWE 2K24 confirms Post Malone as a playable character. Tekken 8 is getting a Tekken shop with in-game purchases, causing fans to be divided. Sega describes Crazy Taxi Reboot as a AAA game. Following that, new Crazy Taxi is reportedly a live service game with a 100-person survival mode. Cameron Monaghan would absolutely play a live-action Cal Kestis in a Star Wars project. Nacon Connect is returning February 29th, will include Greedfall 2, new Terminator game, and more. Warframe is now on iOS. Pokemon Presents live stream set to deliver exciting news in celebration of Pokemon Day on February 27th at 8 a.m. Central Time. Ubisoft's Invincible mobile game is out now. Twitch rival Kick distinguishes itself with a creator-friendly approach. Gearbox is reviving an underrated MOBA hero shooter in Gigantic Rampage Edition. Lady Gaga is coming to Fortnite in its next festival event. Dying Light 2 gets a firearms update. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the game, gets a release date of June 4th. Borderlands 4 possibly teased by Randy Pitchford, as he says unannounced title is the greatest thing we've ever done. Dead Island 2 surprise launches on Game Pass. Pentiment and Hi-Fi Rush physical releases will be handled by limited run games in wake of Xbox's commitment to discs.
There we go. A lot of good stuff, a lot of weird stuff in there.
Yeah. Like, I didn't even know they were working on a new Doom game until that article. I'm like, okay, way to like ruin one of your announcements.
Yeah, and because like Doom, didn't it come out on PlayStation as well?
Say that again.
Didn't the last 2 Doom games come out on PlayStation as well?
Oh yeah. I'm about to say they came to and Switch actually.
Yeah. Well, now they're owned by Xbox.
Yeah. So I think it was around the time Eternal came out that they were already bought by Xbox.
Yeah. Just to, foo-foo on Diablo for a second. $65 for a horse.
Yeah, right.
What is that crap? Like,
it's a horse bundle.
Yeah. Well, when the horse costs more than the game.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Like, bro, what are we doing?
I don't know.
But there will be people that buy it, though.
Some people will buy it. Embracer Group. Did you see Greg's comment about Embracer Group?
Yes, I loved it. Like you talking about his DICE Award speech.
Yeah.
So great.
And then cuts to the CEO
I
of
know.
Embracer. I'm just like, there you go. There you go.
Didn't he come out like after that, or was it before, where he's just like trying to like save face and like defend his decisions? I'm like, bro, stop it. You're not helping yourself.
Yeah, like they're awful. I don't like them.
Is Embracer the new Activision at this point?
Well, yeah. It was EA and then went to Activision. Now it's Embracer.
Man.
Because you remember how EA got voted like worst company for years?
I'm sure they still do.
Yeah. Like people would just wanted to hate on EA and everything. But yeah. Yeah, Dan, that's putting the horse before the game. Exactly.
Well played.
I like it. Well, there you go, guys. That's the news. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to come back next week where we discuss all things video game related.
Mm-hmm.
This has been Zach.
And Jarlin the Mason.
Y'all have a blessed week. Bye.